This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to week 21 of my Arrowverse weekly recap. And honestly, I'm not even sure this is coming out on time. I'm just recording this intro quickly to see if this works. Premiere Pro is glitching out, not playing the audio for some reason. I caught it before I recorded anything, but it's already late. I have work tomorrow. I'll try to record this before that, but I do apologize if this came out a little later than normal, and really if it comes out any later, I'm guessing that it would have to be extremely later, and I mean like, if this is coming out at like 9:30 at night, I do apologize, but I'm going to try my best to get this recorded, and I'm really sorry. I was just having some issues, and the time it took me to, I didn't even figure it out. It just started working again. I have no idea what was wrong. So if it does come out later, I'm sorry about that. But there will be spoilers in this for the Flash's season 7 finale, and the newest episodes of Superman and Lois and Legends of Tomorrow. So, first going into Legends. Yeah, I think it was a pretty interesting episode. It was, a Constantine-focused episode, and the side story about both Gus, or baby Gus that turned into a giant monster, and one about Rory, and honestly both were pretty interesting when watching them, and it was a pretty good episode overall. Another fun one, and definitely interesting to see Constantine are taking basically magic steroids since he doesn't have his powers back, and I wonder how that's going to end up, especially because we know that everyone will eventually both figure it out, and that John is going to either get his powers back or give up on getting them after it's revealed. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen. And really looking at everything else, I think, a few things might happen. Not really sure. And I'm excited to see where it continues. The Rory basically being pregnant storyline. That's different and unique. I'm not really sure what's going to happen in the end, especially since it seems like he might die, and the daughter he's speaking to is from the future. Well, his daughter's like a year and a half in the future, the one that he's currently talking to right now and interacting with. So I'm not really sure. And if he does, that means Sarah would be the only original legend. But I'm not really sure. Rory will probably survive. I'm not sure if I'm going to get rid of the second to last original member unless he wants to leave. And the Gus storyline, although short, was pretty enjoyable, seeing him turn from a little baby into a giant monster, and I think that it was kind of the opposite. Basically making fun of Baby Yoda, who was 50, and instead this baby Gus aged really quickly. And honestly, I don't even know if there's going to be a villain for the rest of the season. I'm not even sure how many episodes are left, but since the character Bishop is dead, and it seems permanently dead, I was just kind of twist with him. There's been no real villain set up And I just checked on the internet, it's 15 episodes, and the last one was, I think, episode 10, so there's really 5 episodes left, and I really don't know what they're doing in terms of a villain, or it's just going to be a bunch of different, adventures, maybe focusing on Constantine and Sarah mainly. I really am not sure, but I'm still looking forward to it. And now looking at the Flash's season finale, it was honestly a really good episode, and didn't do what I was fearing it would do, and redeem Godspeed, and I was so glad about that. I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was really good, and honestly, maybe it's just because of a few scenes. It's probably one of the best to me, maybe the best of the season, and although, I think some people may not have liked it, I loved the lightsaber fight they had at the end. That was different, unique, and, well, a different type of fight. So we didn't have just, another, just another group of speedsters just beating each other up, which, basically happened in the season 1, season 2, season 3 finale until something came to change it, and which has been happening for the last few episodes. And honestly, it made it feel a little, boring for them just to be going with the same thing. I'm glad they, fixed a few problems with the season with this. I really enjoyed this episode, and at the end, with, Barry and Iris renewing their vows, although I feel like, in terms of, you know, marriage, they did it pretty quickly, but at least they got a real wedding ceremony, and an undead Oliver and Felicity didn't just randomly appear to also, renew their vows, or with, the comment that Joe and Cecile made about a wedding. They didn't, just randomly pop in and want to get married too. And I also really liked having Cisco there. I think it was nice, although he wasn't there for too much. I like how he was able to be, the person who renewed the vows. And it's also funny how he's joking about how it was a quick internet search. And the rest of the episode, a few things that I mentioned before, the big thing. I didn't even mind Speedster Iris in this. It at least made sense, and it was, understandable. It wasn't like a forced storyline like it was a few seasons ago. And finally, looking at the other things, yeah, I liked Bart and Nora, and maybe the solution that Barry came up wasn't the best one. I feel like he was right, but there wasn't really a way out of it, so I'm not really sure what he should have done. And I think he was in a lose-lose situation. But let's talk about, Barry's decision to give Godspeed artificial speed. Oh, one thing I want to mention. I'm glad that Barry didn't stay in Godspeed's mind for the entire episode. I feel like that would have, well, first been too similar to season 4's finale, and been, kind of boring. And I'm glad he was only there for the first few minutes. I also, love how Godspeed was made a villain, but his decision to give Godspeed actual speed, I feel like, maybe it wasn't the best idea, looking at, long term, but it was a good enough idea looking back. Looking at the moment. And sometimes that's just what you have to do, is do something that will keep you alive at the moment, even if it could have long-term consequences. Something could be extremely bad. And speaking of long-term consequences, one thing that was pretty major was in the, you know, I'm bringing reverse flashback with the help of the Speed Force, and I feel like another way he could have done it was just have the Speed Force help him fight Godspeed, and he probably could have won without having to bring Thawne back, but that was the reason they did it, was so Thawne could return, and so they could have basically, I think, Reverse Flash is basically, season, you know, uh, showing, because he's appeared at least once a season, every season, sometimes more, with him appearing, main villain of season 1, cameoing in both Reverse Flash returns, and the time travel one in season 2. Season 3, he was in episode 1, the Flashpoint episode. Season 4, it might have only been the crossover, but I can't remember exactly if he appeared at another point. Season 5 was in the 100th episode. Season 6 was, when Roy took over Nash's body. And season 7 was the finale. And I was, a little, not exactly worried, but wondering if he was going to appear. And it was really cool when he did. And I wasn't sure if, the set photos that were leaked were maybe like a fake scene to throw us off. But I'm so glad they weren't. And even though I kind of saw it coming, I always feel like, yeah, he might recruit Thawne, because I believe he did that to fight Godspeed in the comics, or it might have been the other way around. He recruited Godspeed to fight Thawne. It was one of the two. I remember hearing about it, but not reading it, and I think it was interesting, and I was excited to see it. And speaking of their, like, basically lightsaber fight, we'll say lightning saber fight, I don't know, I might be releasing a video next week where I play that clip, but have Duel of the Fates playing over it. Who knows? But potentially look out for that. And I don't think there's really anything else I can say. I really enjoy it. It was a really good ending to a pretty okay season. This Godspeed storyline was overall really good. There were no real bad episodes, all of them being enjoyable, and honestly my only real complaint is I wish that it was, maybe a little longer, maybe an episode or two, but that's really all I have to say. Now let's go on to Superman and Lois, and I really enjoyed this episode also. I think it was very good and very well done, and I think, it was good. I think this time it was a really good episode. It was the first time, really, this entire season that an episode of The Flash really, could have outshined it, but it was still a really good episode and basically on the same level as the Flash episode. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it was interesting, and to see these different things happening, I definitely want to see, some other stuff going on. I'm definitely interested that, although I kind of made a wrong assumption last week that Morgan Edge taken over by his father, he's actually become the Eradicator, and is going to, be fighting Superman in the next 2 episodes, I believe. And I can't wait to see that. Also, it was very interesting to see both, John and Jordan be able to, well, Jonathan and Jordan, realize if I say John, I could be talking about either one. So we'll just say Jonathan and Jordan. I kind of forgot about it for a second, but I think the two of them definitely, probably made some time mistakes, especially, Jordan and Sarah getting arrested, although they're going to let off at the warning. I'm surprised that I was kind of expecting that with it, that Jordan would be let off with a warning, but maybe because of how people in Smallville were seeing the Cushing family, they would, be blamed and potentially Sarah would be held as a, and be charged. I'm not really sure with what. I'm not even sure. Is it illegal to skip school or were they like trespassing? I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure it's not illegal to skip school. Maybe because they just snuck out. I'm not really sure. I don't know if you know about that. Although I am, in the US, I've never really heard of that before. I've heard of, truancy, but I thought that was kind of a thing of the past. I don't know, there's people who, cut school a bunch, and they never really are arrested or anything for it. I'm not really sure, but yeah, just looking at the rest of this episode, kind of have to finish up. It was good. I'm definitely interested to see, especially with Superman being concerned about how good it felt to let go, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I cannot wait for next week's episode. And next week I'm going to kind of have my rant about redemption in probably, season 7 of The Flash. I'm not really sure what else I'm going to do. Also have, a surprise video. I know what it is. And it's going to be a teaser for something coming soon. I won't tell you what that is. And I'll save a few other videos. And I don't know what else I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do a recap of Arrow seasons 1 to 3 and review of that. And then continue with another one the week after. I'm like halfway through season 3 right now. And I'm not really sure. I'll make a decision later in the week. You'll probably know about my Bad Batch video. Maybe Tuesday's Flash kind of rant video. Oh, also, I might have the Arrowverse video out a few days earlier next week since there's only a Legends episode. Actually, I don't think there is one. There's nothing until I think the 10th. Well, the week of the 10th, where both Stargirl premieres and then episodes of Legends, Superman and Lois start up again. So, yeah, I'm not really sure, but also, so next time I'm going over this, it'll just be, it'll be Legends, Stargirl, and Superman and Lois until, Supergirl starts up again after Superman and Lois ends. And that week I should be getting The Long Halloween Part 2. So also look out for that week. I thought it was next week, but I think that might only be the digital. And I'm going to wait for its DVD to release. So that's really my plans. I'll probably be streaming Lego Star Wars 3, finishing it up soon. And I think I'm going to go 100% with that, especially because I love some of the levels and all these different, side missions you could do. That's what I think I'll have to say. And I'll see you in the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please like the video, leave some comments, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. And may the Force be with you